Following on from the events of Deriz, an overloading of the teleporter caused by the simultaneous use of the Wunderwaffe DG-2 sends the Ultimus crew through a precarious voyage across space and time, landing them at a time even Richthofen himself could not have predicted. Standing here is Kino Der Toten, an abandoned Group 935 research facility tasked with developing a process by which the undead could be subjugated and weaponized for the now long defeated Nazi party. Richthofen and friends arrive confronted by the rising tensions of Cold War era Berlin, spotlighted by Die Berliner Mauer and Der Fernsehturm. They see a decaying sign displaying the words Deutsches Soul-Kino, or Germany's Sun Theatre, Soul being a Latin word referencing the Nazi occultism of the Black Sun, as realization sets in that they've arrived almost 20 years too far into the future. The primary Easter egg on this map is the 5 recordings which document Group 935's mind control experiments on the undead, 2 of which are played via shooting 2 radios, one in the theatre's chandelier and the other atop a machine gun tower guarding the Berlin Wall. These explain how Group 935 had developed films to enhance chemical treatments given to the undead, and that progress was slow but steady. The other 3 are unlocked by finding and inserting 3 film reels into the projector. Along with the recordings, each reel also comes with a series of images. The first displays Dr. Maxis working in a lab with the letters E, A and R visible on his table. The recording explains how the scientists had a breakthrough with a particular patient 2-6. The second is of a human eye with the Group 935 logo partially visible behind one of the images. We further see an ominous image of a field covered in mist. The audio log explains how progress was going well with their experiments, so much so that they believed the mind control process could be perfected in as little as 2 weeks. And finally, the third shows zombies surrendering en masse, with a mysterious hooded figure lurking in the background. Meanwhile, we hear how patient 2-6 attacked a handler and was destroyed, before Dr. Maxis is interrupted by panicked knocking on his door, presumably right before the outbreak occurred here. Now, after playing all 5 recordings, it was widely believed you then unlocked the ability to launch the model rocket in the Pentagon teleporter room. However, this is a myth. The actual way you launch this rocket is by jumping a few times in front of this mannequin with a bloodstain on its chest. As you can see here, I launched the rocket without ever playing any of the radio recordings. Located in the same room lies another one of Kino's more famous secrets, the knocking box. The big question is who or what is trapped within. Scattered in the dark crevices of the cinema reside many old notes and scribblings on scraps of paper. Like this one, for example, which spells out ignomo jubilis, Latin for ignominious rejoicing, and this one under the stairs which asks how Richthofen is able to access this time and place. Furthermore, upon this box on the stage is a note previously found in Deriz. It briefly discusses the power and side effects of Element 115. Then finally, we have an Illuminati triangle on this book outside the map, but the Eye of Providence also finds itself here, on the side of this crate containing a test subject. The test subjects are further littered across the stage. Some are forever frozen in time within these pods, whereas others have evidently found an escape. Now, who could forget one of the greatest musical Easter eggs in zombies history, the song 115, played via interacting with these meteor fragments across the map.
Here's the last piece. What do I win? Hey, I found something neat!
To add further to the mysteries of this place come the portraits of our characters, as well as some more unknown individuals. I'd like you to pay attention to just how many of these unknown individuals there are, and think about where else we may find this number. More wall scribblings can be found across the cinema, like here by the napalm trap, Brimstone to Damnation, Ether Projectionist on the stage, Samantha Amelia Abigail in the dressing room, and finally, Knowledge Itself is for the Taking by the Power Switch. Speaking of power, when you use the teleporter, you may be taken to one of several specific points in space-time. First location being Samantha's room, and with these, I want you to pay attention to not only what you can see, but also what you can hear. Next we have Samantha's room, except this time is after she takes control of the zombies in Moon. We see the Verrucht Asylum, what it used to look like before the outbreak there. And finally, we're back at the Pentagon. We have the rocket again, and there's also a few notes in here that we've previously looked at. Throughout the teleportation process itself, we're presented with further random glimpses of space-time. Once shown to many an excited audience, this derelict cinema still holds evidence of some of the old movies once screened here. Here we have Die Bismarck, Germany's most powerful battleship, which was sunk in the Atlantic Ocean after attempting to attack Allied shipping convoys from the US. The second poster advertises Pygmalion, a 1913 comedy by George Bernard Shaw about love and a criticism of the English class system. And then we have Faust, a 1926 movie about a demon called Mephisto, who wages with an archangel that he can corrupt a righteous man's soul. Faust, an alchemist, accepts a deal with Mephisto for all earthly pleasures in return for Faust's soul. Faust soon becomes wary of Mephisto and desires to cleanse himself from Mephisto's pact. The movie ends as Faust and his lover are killed in fire, though the archangel then informs Mephisto that he had lost the wager, as love had won in the end. Speaking of demons, we see the shadows of some splattered onto the walls and floors of the cinema, almost like a bad omen, always hidden but always there. And by the sound of it, they clearly caught up with someone. But why, you might be asking, did our four characters even come here in the first place? Well, here's your answer. Richthofen was searching for his diary, a journal of incredible knowledge relating to the years of research he undertook whilst working for Group 935, and how that knowledge would help him. His arch-nemesis Maxis, the lead scientist of Group 935, had his personal office here. Most of these assets are just reused from Deriz, to be honest, but it's still interesting. In these letters is spelt Manhattan Down, which would seem to be a reference to the Manhattan Project, though as far as I know it was never fully understood what exactly the down implied, adding it to the ever-increasing list of unanswered questions. Unanswered questions like, what the fuck was the deal with these stage ladders? Why did everyone once think there was a way to lower them and escape the map? Well, all I'll say is that it's funny how Kino is the only map since Deriz not to feature a main Easter egg quest. Thanks for watching and have a good night.